What'd you think? I want to know what you thought. First time at the 24-hour.
It was honestly like on the being awake side, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like I expected a lot worse. And it was kind of fine. Like the energy was good. I feel like we got lucky. Obviously the drivers weren't so lucky with the yellow flag and the caution for 6 hours, but for everybody else there, that was like a nice downtime. But overall I thought it was awesome. Like would really recommend anybody do this.
Well, I guess for context, we're at the Waffle House in Orlando on the way back from the 24 Hours of Daytona. We all were up the entire 24. You guys got what, maybe half an hour of sleep out?
We did not even sleep. Like my watch tracks.
I heard some snoring.
I don't know. My watch tracks all the sleep. And
it's probably like 20 minutes.
To be fair, there was definitely snoring
it was maybe
going
like
on behind me.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
It might have also been the man that was passed out in front of us. Sorry. So can't take all the credit.
It was probably 15 to 20.
Yeah, like 15
Good
minutes.
shut-eye. Sitting right up in our chair.
So a full 24 hours up.
Yeah.
What's your
more like
rating?
35.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it was like
we got there at 9 a.m.
7
Yeah.
hours until
we got there at 9 a.m. We didn't leave until like what 3 p.m. for the next day.
Yeah. Something like that.
At least this year it was actually warm. Like last year it was freezing. And so it was like not that bad to go out and do it. Obviously you got like the tired chills and stuff like that. So we did end up bundling up, but like it was very manageable and everyone's nice who stays. And it's kind of like this weird, hey, it's 3 a.m. but like want to go get a snack or something? I don't know. It feels like you're in a time warp, especially when you're in that media center. Like the lights are so blinding and you're kind of like, what time even is it? Has it been 20 hours? Like
fluorescent lights.
I know.
They keep you up.
Also, too, I mean, the fact that it didn't, it was so nice out. And I think everyone loved that it was so nice out, that people were up the entire time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really nice seeing like the fans. Like I was expecting more fans, period. Like in the grandstands all race weekend, but that's like another topic. But like in the fan zone and the food court area, like there were people there watching the screens like all night, which I was expecting it to be a ghost town. So that was really encouraging to see.
There were even young kids that were there, like 3 a.m.
Yeah. Lots of young kids.
It was crazy in comparison to last year. Like Greg and I were here last year, obviously, and we were roaming around and it was dead. There wasn't a single person there. And this year, you and I are coming back from like walking around the fan zone and stuff, and there's people bopping around.
So many people.
Yeah, it was crazy. And a record attendance as well. So clearly the race is kind of picking up traction, which is maybe due to the fact that it was featured in the F1 movie, or it was a nice event and people are starting to learn more about IMSA and racing in general, which is exciting. But yeah, the stadiums are massive for, I think, this particular race. But everywhere on the grid, people were looking up like before the race was starting. They're like, I've never seen so many people. So it was very exciting. It was amazing.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah. I had someone DM me asking like where the VIP areas are. And I was kind of like, the whole thing really is VIP. Besides like access to the pit lane, you get to go see the paddock, you get to see drivers, you get to see cars, you get to go on the grid before the race. The grandstands are like actually the best view in the house, like better than being down on the ground. I was like, just walk around and make sure you're like experiencing everything.
It is a VIP experience, like especially at 3 a.m. when like there's not even none of the mechanics are in the paddock. Like it's just empty. So you really get to see all the haulers, like all of the tires that are out. You get to take a little peek at like the trailers that do have the lights on inside and like see a little bit of the behind the scenes.
Yeah. Also, all the garages have like the windows so you can look right in, watch them work on the cars. Everyone, if you stop anyone and ask them a question, like everyone was super nice. So whatever you needed, you could get. Like as a fan, it's the best experience.
It was a crazy line for the autograph session.
Like, started 2 hours before.
It's kind of like the Indy 500 line. I was shocked. And there's, 60 drivers there. It's a lot of people to get through.
Yeah, way more. 61 teams, right? So times 3 to 4-ish.
Yeah.
So how did the weekend start out for us? Like what were some of the first things that we did?
Well, you guys got there on Wednesday. Yeah. So it was a fast start to the weekend. Yeah.
It feels like honestly a week ago.
I know, like weeks plural ago. We landed and we drove from Orlando and basically like got there and had like an hour to prep for our interviews with Sheena and Roman Grosjean, who were driving with Myers Riley. And that was incredible. Like both of them were so nice. The team was awesome. We got to do them in the hauler. We got to kind of check out the garage area and stuff. And it was a good introduction to the team because obviously we were shadowing them for the whole weekend. So that was really nice.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of getting the lay of the land. Like we had to set up a media center, do all those little like admin stuff, if you will. And then we had to go right to Vassar Sullivan. Like Wednesday flew by. I don't know. And Claudia wasn't there yet. I didn't even check into my hotel until 9 p.m. Like it was kind of like, where did the day go?
Thursday was a blur. Thursday was also night practice, which was really cool. I think Thursday we got there, we like set up.
They had a practice session.
Yeah.
Yes.
They had a practice session, which was really cool to see the cars out on track. It was also a beautiful day, like so nice out.
Yeah.
Which was awesome to see. Just getting a lay of the land, really. Like seeing the fan deck area, the fan zones.
Thursday with all track things, we did do the night practice, as you said, and I think one of the highlights for that was being able to sit in on the driver debrief after the fact. So as Logan, you said, the Myers Riley, like being able to follow them for the weekend and listen to what's going on. So being in the room when all 4 of their drivers were sitting around talking with the team manager, the race engineer, like going through how the setup was feeling on each of the different turns. I've never seen that in my entire life. Like couldn't even tell you what it's like to drive the car, like let alone like to know like the weight shift or how everything feels in each of the turns and then how they correct for it. And so seeing that firsthand and like watching them and the team dynamic as a whole was cool.
Pretty awesome. Stay tuned for the insider.
Yes.
Yes, true.
Exactly. I think the highlight for me was sunset. Like Greg and I went out to the horseshoe where like all the flags of the many nationalities that race at the Rolex 24 are. And that was awesome. I think like almost took it for granted because I was like, okay, like we'll see this again. But then as we know, we didn't really get like that big of a sunset and there was no sunrise for the race itself. So it was really awesome to just like, I think it was the Mazda Cup that was racing and like seeing those cars go by and like just the lighting is beautiful. You get to see the sun go down like right by where it says World Center of Racing, like really cool.
Yeah. I think my highlight was probably the grid walk right before the race. Like I was out and I was chatting with some fans and there was just so many people and so many people's first time racing, so many people who've been coming back for numerous years, but the excitement is still the same and people are wearing fun like fan merch and they're running up and down the banking. And like last year we went and I don't think you were there with us, but we signed the start finish line. This year it was like a lineup to get into it. It was actually crazy. Like people were pushing, but everyone's sharing their pens and stuff. And there's just like the excitement of it because I find sometimes when they're working it, it's hard to get caught up in like, okay, we need to get this shot. We need to do this. And it was kind of like for a moment, I was like, oh my gosh, this is really cool. Like,
did you sign it or you couldn't get?
I didn't have a pen. It was kind of busy, but I signed it last year. So that's all right.
But
it was more like, I was happy to just even sit there and watch for a second. Kids have the little play cars and they're like running it around. And I'm like, this is insane. And then obviously going back to the grid and it was packed. Like they opened up the grid to all of the fans. And I thought it was very special because I was standing there and I was standing in front of the 16 car, which was the Myers Riley one. And I said this to Sheena too, but like the amount of girls that came up and were like so excited to see a girl in the car, it was really cool. Like, I don't know. I think you just take that for granted sometimes if you're not thinking about it from other people's perspectives. Like, obviously, we have the interview with her. We know she's going to be there. And then to see girls being like, oh, this is Sheena. She's the girl. And then, of course, people are seeing Grosjean's name and they're like, Grosjean's the one that walked through fire. You know, like, did you ever watch Drive to Survive? And it was kind of really cool to just like be a fly on the wall for that cool moment.
Okay, so race day, because all of this happened before Saturday.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, again, we got there and it was kind of like put our bags down, grab our camera gear and head right out. And we got to see all of the cars coming out from the pits into the start grid. And that was amazing. And of course, the drivers. And then the fans, it was packed. Like people were lining up, waiting for hours in the hot sun.
Yeah.
Like it was dedication. So that was crazy. And then we kind of did a divide and conquer. Greg was up in like a hospitality roof sort of thing to get an angle. I was down on the grid and Claudia went up to the grandstand. So we were separated for that, but like we all had different views, which was so cool to like see the different event from different vantage points. And it really just goes to show that there's literally not a single bad spot to watch this race. Like everywhere is great.
No, the grandstands look like the coolest.
The grandstand was awesome because again, there's so like, you know, really busy event, but there's so much seating that like you're not fighting with anybody to get the spot you want. Yeah. Like you could pick whatever row you wanted. You can move around to like different parts of the grandstand and see the start. It's really awesome. And then there's like a fun deck up there that like all the fans, I think, have access to, like walking around and seeing as they go down into the stairs for the seating. So that was really awesome. And you get to see the full track. So if like a crash happens or somebody spins out on the first lap, you'll see it.
First lap chaos, of course, but in IMSA it's insane. Like the cars go in to get repaired and they're right back out within 2 laps. Whereas if that was F1, race would probably have to be red flagged with that amount of chaos and no cars would be coming back out.
What's nice is that they can keep racing.
Completely, yes. They're a couple laps down and they've got 24 hours to make it up. And the CrowdStrike car that crashed on the first lap and was down a couple laps ended up winning, and that's Toby Sower's car. So just goes to show nothing.
Oh, that never even clicked till right now.
The race is not over until
24 hours to
That
keep
literally
going.
did not click until right now.
It was a big repair. They had to go in the pit lane, and then he came back out and he was already like 1 or 2 laps down and then ended up winning the race. So it's also crazy because the fog was so bad, and the fog came around like 8 p.m. or something like that ish.
Yeah.
And then you couldn't really see the fireworks, and then around midnight they yellow flagged it, and it ended up being a 6.5 hour yellow flag. So there was no passing. The cars were just going around. So everything was stagnant, and it was kind of like everyone's waiting for that moment when they green flag, and then chaos erupts. And the racing was amazing from basically when they green flagged it at 7:30ish until 1:40 p.m.
Which also came earlier than they thought. Like they were sitting there on the broadcast thinking, okay, it's gonna take till 9:30, and then all of a sudden they're like, wait a minute, pit lane's closed. Oh, all right, go.
I think
it's just like really difficult to imagine. I think like obviously so much initial respect for like everybody that keeps it going, but like to really be there and like see them overnight, especially when like you're not, I almost think it's harder when you're not racing and you just like have to stay awake and stay focused going. I think it's like their speed during the caution rounds were like 70 miles per hour, which is in a race car not very fast. So like to be able to keep the focus and like keep yourself up and like keep going for like 6.5 hours, which I think was the longest caution like period ever in Rolex 24 history, is pretty crazy. Like really, really hard work. And then we were up to where the spotters and the broadcast crews were, and the visibility was awful.
Yeah, you couldn't see
so yeah, like just to think of the spotters that were there all night, like trying to do their best and look through the fog was really, really impressive.
Yeah. I felt bad for Ricky Taylor's car, one of the Cadillac ones. Like there was an engine fire, an hour left,
that
2 hours
fire
left.
looked brutal.
It was bad. The whole car was like melted, and obviously you make it through to 22 hours, 22 and a half.
To have it end there.
It's so brutal. Like no one thinks about that. Like obviously retirement suck at any stage, but to make it 22 hours through a 6-hour yellow flag, and you just start racing and then it's something out of your control, it's like heartbreaking. When you're watching that race there too, and it's kind of, we just talk about all the things that could happen, to win it 3 times in a row is like a huge feat. It was like when we talked to Nick Tandy and he's won all 4 24-hour races.
That's a crazy thing to accomplish.
Different teams, different drivers, like different teammates, that sort of thing. There's so many factors. Yeah, so hats off to literally anyone who started and finished the race, whether they won or not.
I don't know if you guys saw this, but Zach Brown was actually racing this weekend. They were sneaking him around the track. Like he was not out and about. There was the McLaren RLL team, but he was floating around. So I'd be curious if you could see him race in any race proper, get behind the wheel, get in for the car, like which race would it be? Before we keep going on it, if you guys are liking all the content, then definitely please subscribe. It helps the channel a ton. Like, comment, all of that. It makes a huge difference, and thank you for the support.
It is so weird. I mean, we talked about this before, but the fireworks kind of signal like, okay, night shift has started, and then people start filtering out to go to bed, or obviously they're staying. But it just feels like even the racing kind of like calms down. It's not as loud. People are like, okay, I'm gonna close my eyes for 20 minutes or however long you get.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, as soon as the sun comes up, it's like everyone is buzzing. Again, it's crazy. Like the difference from like an hour difference being in the pit lane when it's at 5 a.m. to getting in it at 6 a.m. was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you get to the green flag and everyone's just away. But everyone's on. The fans are back on. Everything's just on. It's like it's spun back up.
Yeah.
Also, how fast the hours went by. Like, you're like, okay, 24 hours is a really long time. But like, we were trying to do these like hourly updates on TikTok, and it just like, time was escaping us. I think I got to like hour 5, and then suddenly it was like hour 9. And I was like, what happened between 9 and 1 a.m.? Like, everything's happening and like time is flying.
I gotta say, the 1 to 6 a.m. actually felt like it flew by. Last year was such a drag, but this one flew by.
Yeah. I don't know what surprised me the most. Honestly, like, and I saw this last year too, and I feel like I should know this, but watching them repair the cars on lap 1 and to see them still come on to finish and like make up the time.
Yeah.
It's so easy to like see chaos happen and be like, they're done, or that's it. And then it's like, what do you mean you can come back and win the race and like, or be on the podium or whatever? Like, It was just crazy. So I feel like that is so surprising. It's just like such a testament to the hard work from the mechanics and engineers and everyone involved, drivers to be on top of it, to know what's wrong, to know the parts they need. Yeah. To then figure out strategy and fuel and tires and all that. Like, it's just like mind blowing. And I don't think I'll ever get used to that. Well, thank you guys so much for following along, and we can't wait for you to see the content coming out of this weekend, but we're getting hungry, so we need to order. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this content and to see more videos like this. And if you want, become a channel member because there's going to be exclusive clips that come out. But thank you, and we will see you guys in the next one.
See ya.